Hi, I'm Michael Wright, owner of Michael Wright Photography, and here are my 5 ways that you can negotiate a much better deal with your wedding vendors. Tip number 1, make your vendor like you. When you go to meet with your vendor, sit down, talk with them, find out a little bit about them, find out a little bit about the services they offer, tell them how great they are, be really nice. You get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, and then talk about price. If you start talking about price from the very beginning, that may be a little bit off-putting to them, and they realize it's just about price. You can only go so low. It's a weird conversation. It's almost like if your fiance, when you first met, if he walked up to you and said, "Hey, what's your telephone number?" Like you have to have a little bit more of a conversation. You know, hey, how are you? What's going on? This, that, and the other, and then get down to price and whatnot. My next tip is everything is not negotiable. Vendors have hard costs and soft costs, and you need to look for the soft costs to negotiate those down. For example, I got married at a country club. There was a $1,000 ceremony setup fee to set up chairs on the first tee box that had this beautiful view, but it was $1,000 to set up chairs. And I knew that they were gonna get either some caddies or some people that worked there that were making, you know, $10 or $15 an hour. They were going to be there anyway to set up these chairs. It wasn't going to cost them $1,000 to set that up. So I chose that as a cost to negotiate down versus asking to negotiate down filet mignon or alcohol costs or something where they have a hard cost with. So look for the soft costs and negotiate those down, and you can save a ton of money. The next tip is the 6 magic words. What can you do for me? A lot of times people want to ask for a discount, but they don't quite know how to, or they'll go in and say, can we get $1,000 off? Or the price for something is $1,000, can you do it for $800? But a better way of asking is saying, what can you do for me? Because every vendor may have a special, they have a certain margin that they have to adhere to, and they know where they can go within that and still be profitable. So they can give you a number that works for them and also saves you money. So it's a lot easier to just ask, what can you do for me on this, rather than saying, can you give us X amount of dollars off? My next tip is to give a reason. Give a reason why you want a discount, or give a reason for the vendor to give you a discount. For example, I got married during daylight savings time. We had an early ceremony around 4 o'clock, and we wanted to have an extra hour at the reception. So I went to the venue, I said, look, we're gonna get done fairly early. Your workers aren't gonna be here till midnight or anything like that. Can you give us 1 extra hour? And they were more than willing to work with us. Whereas if I had just went to them and said, hey, can we get an extra hour? More than likely they would have just said no. But if you elaborate on the reason why and why you would want a discount, it'll be a lot better than just saying, can we get a discount? My next tip is to look for a sweetener. A lot of times people really focus on lowering the price, but you should really focus in on adding value. This could be something, for example, of maybe the baker that you go to for your cake, maybe you can get a groom's cake thrown in. Maybe you can get some extra cupcakes or something like that. Maybe it's extra time with the vendor. But there's a wide variety of ways that you can add more into your package rather than trying to take money out. Vendors are usually more willing to do something like that than to lower a price. They can usually add something in to make the package, you know, worth more in value than what you're paying for it. And that may be a better deal than getting a couple $100s off. And those are my tips. I hope they help you out and save you a ton of money. And remember, if you need a photographer, make sure your photos are right.